So today we're going to be talking about survival, reality, and wisdom. And right now we are going through what they call the government shutdown, furlough. People are not working right now. I don't know if they are being paid or do some people get paid when they furlough?
Typically, you're always paid later.
Mm.
And I definitely wanted to get into that. I don't know if you wanted to dive right in of how that how that works.
Yeah, we could, you could talk about it because I was wondering. I was actually thinking about that today. Honestly, I was riding because I was on my way working and I seen how light the traffic was and I thought about it. I was like, you could definitely tell that something's going on because it normally be traffic normally be thick
Yeah,
on Branch Avenue when I'm going up,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it really wasn't. So yeah, explain that to me because I was wondering how do people get paid and if not, it can be real ugly.
So prior to being a realtor, I
Mm-hmm.
was a government contractor slash government employee at both times, and this is not uncommon for the government to run out of money. If nothing else, it's an indication of how the American government is. Um,
Hold on one second.
okay,
Let me get this young baby. You can grab him.
I'm hungry.
All right, so let's get back into it. Excuse my son CJ. He's a part of the podcast too.
Yes, he is.
So you were talking about the furlough and how people get paid, right?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yes. Okay, so before selling real estate, I was, a government employee as well. Government contractor at one point, and same thing, shutdown happened. The thing is this, and what I'm finding, and that I definitely wanted to have the conversation because again, when the government shuts down, there's no guarantee that non-essential employees are going to have jobs in this climate. Not even getting into politics, just paying attention to what the trends are saying. And the recent, um, what is it called? The recent, in the beginning of the year, they had this government, they did the rift.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I say rift. The rift. They're doing the same thing post this whole furlough.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to bring everybody back.
Mm.
Non-essential employees, depending on how long this goes, will not be funded. They have to come to an agreement. And so, unfortunately, people aren't guaranteed jobs. So, I'm not going, don't shoot the messenger. But if we're following the trends, there's no guarantee that if your job is deemed non essential, they can justify having you on the payroll.
Mm.
And I don't think a lot of people are ready for that, nor are they ready for the conversation.
Mm.
And that is the main reason why, the I think it's important that people do kind of really look at where their employment is, where it lies, how strong it is, and how they can position themselves overall. No renting, no renting, because you're cyclically giving away tons of money. I mean, the average rent right now has you paying off 50,000 a year, and that's almost for like a not so great place to live. Maybe not big enough, not convenient, things like that.
Right.
Okay.
So now that you say that though, it actually raised a thought in my mind. So do you think? So is this? I don't get into politics. I really don't understand it a lot. But is this a way to downsize with government
Absolutely,
employees?
it is. Absolutely, it is. And I think, well, America doesn't have the money that people think it has anyway.
Mm. Mm.
We don't. And our paper money system is paper money, and I don't want to get into too much of that either.
Right.
But you look at paper. How valuable is paper?
Mm.
If you can just recreate paper. So we've
Right.
been living in this, and this I know it's getting real deep, and I don't want to go too deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't want to be labeled a conspiracy theorist. I
Yeah.
don't.
Right.
But again, when you talk about world powers, the paper money is of very little value.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that's, back in the day, you saw the gold shops popping up. There was a reason for that. Now there's cryptocurrency and all of this Bitcoin. Pay attention. We got to pay attention to it.
Right.
So when we look at it now and we talk about the property here in this country,
Mm-hmm.
so many banks outside of the country own the property. They own the loans, the mortgages. So,
Outside of the country.
oh my gosh,
So
Douche
hold
Bank, all of these other banks own outside of it. All the investors are outside. Well, not all, the bulk of them. So
really,
you're paying your mortgage to an out of the country bank.
I never knew that.
Yeah,
I never
Yeah.
knew that. Wow.
And because again, what do we export? Nothing. You
Mm.
turn your phone over, no matter what, you turn whatever over. We can get things. My craft supplies come from Timu and Sheen all the time when I'm buying craft stuff, and AliExpress and all of those. But what do we export? Absolutely nothing, or
Mm.
very, very little. So of course, our value is in our land, and other countries want to buy into our land. So, when I look at all of these different things, we look at the government shutting down, and, again, we talked about AI and how big AI is. Unfortunately, a lot of jobs are going to fall prey to the automation,
Yeah.
you know. So that doesn't, and of course, people are now throwing things at their screen and flipping me off and stuff like that. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just, again, from a professional standpoint myself, there's some things that AI can do that will make it so that I don't need an assistant.
Replace. Yeah. It would definitely, for lack of better words. But like, I even went to an AI training, and he was actually talking about how to replace your employees
Mm-hmm.
in your company. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, it can save you so much money about doing so. From a business standpoint, to me, it's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you want to keep your expenses low.
Mm-hmm.
So
And productivity up.
yeah, exactly. So I
And if,
mean,
if the government, unfortunately, the government is finding ways to keep productivity up,
mm-hmm.
from an HR standpoint, there's automation. You need someone that's strong for checks and balances, but unfortunately, you know, they have found ways to clear the roster.
Right.
Um, and again, I can't get into the politics of it. I just want people to not stay where they are. I need people to say, okay, I see this coming. Let me change lanes. So if there was a reduction in force and you did get ripped and you still get a partial retirement,
Mm-hmm.
take that retirement and build a business, your brand that cannot be replaced with AI. And in doing that, secure your financial positioning with property. Because again, what else is there? Everything else we can get just
Right.
that fast. But your property, if other countries are buying into it,
Mm-hmm.
why would you not? You
Right.
understand? So I
Yeah.
just don't understand that piece of it. And this is where I get kind of frustrated with my clients
Mm-hmm.
or my prospects. Just the kind of not positioning themselves.
Right. Right.
In a climate like this where you see everything changing, we
Mm-hmm.
can't get set in our ways. We can't
Right.
dwell on, oh my gosh, there's a rift, because when this furlough is over, unfortunately, there may be many that don't have jobs. And let's say they bring everybody back next year. Government clearly said they're getting rid of 8% beginning next
Overall.
year. Yep. And
Wow.
again, for the employees that were government or are government or have been career government employees, we feel it because we're in a government town and all of your peers and friends and things are government employees. So it feels like that to you because of your positioning in government. But state government employees are not necessarily affected. Private industry is affected, but not greatly. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Right.
it is just specific to that. So I'm, speaking to those people. How do you make your money money? I'm gonna let you ask the question because I will go off on a tangent if
No,
you want
it's
to do
all
that.
it's all good. That all of it is great information because it was you touched on a lot, and I I have a lot of questions about what you touched on, but I'm gonna save that so we can stick to what we're doing. But though that would you raised some great points too though because I'm gonna stick to this because I was about to ask you a question. I know that we'll be sitting here talking all day about it, but I want to talk about the crash back in the early 2000s. Um,
Mm.
what lessons from that season still shape the way you guide clients today?
So yeah, everything is cyclical. Everything is cyclical, and you get a lot of people that say, "I want to have a low interest rate," but they also want the cost of the property to be low.
Right.
So that's when that's when I fall on the floor laughing, tears running down my eyes because it sounds impossible because it is.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is based on supply and demand. So based on what happened with the crash, while there was a ton of foreclosures, because of the predatory loans that were being given out.
And what are the predatory loans?
These were loans, they were
Are those
pick a
the
pay loans where you could pick your payment. They were the no interest loans for a period of time. There were no doc loans. You didn't need to have documents to prove your ability to repay the loan. They had balloon payments.
what? Not to cut you off. What is a balloon payment? Because I heard that term, but I didn't know what it mean, or even
Just
get a
like a
chance to look
balloon,
it up.
all of a sudden, it gets small, 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 and then it matures all at one time, and so it comes due.
Is that
At,
meaning
at the
that
end.
not to cut you off, meaning that like you said, it's small at the bottom, but then it matures. But is that do it gets is it a big payment or like what does
Yes,
that like what does that
yes.
look like in
So
a
it'll start off very, very. It'll start off very small, and then all of a sudden, towards the end, it'll all mature. So if you have a second trust that's a balloon payment and it's a $75,000 payment, you may be paying a little teeny bit at the in the beginning, but towards the at the end, you'll still have $65,000 left that matures right then and there.
okay.
And that if you during that period of time, or a lot of those are actually coming due now from the predatory loans and the modifications that were subsequent to those predatory loans. Those are coming due now. They
What
call them
about
ghost mortgages or whatever. They're silent. They're silent seconds, and they all of a sudden now they're due.
what about those okay, so when you buy it's called is it like it's not is it adjustable?
Yeah, arms. I
Arms,
love an
that's what it's
arm.
call.
I love an arm. That's a podcast for a whole nother day. I love an
Okay.
arm.
Yeah, that's what I didn't know if you were talking about arms or um in short, what is an arm loan
ARM
again?
stands for adjustable rate mortgage, and you see yeah, an ARM is an adjustable rate mortgage. The rate will start off at a lower payment, and then it adjusts up. It has a cap on it. Usually, you can't go higher than 2 points. So you get in there with a 4%, and then the highest it can go is to 6. But in Maryland, no prepayment penalty. You can always lock, on that when it does get, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by stuff. The dog's running upstairs.
It's all good.
So, because Maryland's a non-prepayment penalty state, you can always lock your rate. So if you get in at a 4% and then the rate ends up going down to a 3 point whatever, you can lock at that rate. But an ARM has a cap on it; it can't go up but so much. So it's a great loan to get in to allow you a lower payment because wisdom always says you pay a little bit more on your principal, pay the house off 10 years faster.
Right,
So
exactly.
it's just a way of doing business a little bit more gently. One, and it's a wise way of doing it.
Right. So
Uh,
excuse me. So when you were in the crash, were you a homeowner at the time?
I was.
Okay. How did you personally survive the crash?
It's good because I got a predatory loan. Didn't know it was predatory. It was the only loan at the time. They were called subprime loans, and I was subprime because I was self-employed. So because they really couldn't, they said, "Well, we'll give you this loan. It's easy to get. It's a very easy to get loan, no docs." So all I had to show was, okay, she has regular income,
No docs?
no doc.
Really?
They didn't need tax information. They didn't need I think they needed our bank statements. And so of course I'm selling real estate and I'm making money hand over fist. So they're like, "Oh yeah, good, great."
Right. She making money. And like she can afford it. Wow.
They
No
didn't care about
docs.
your
That is
credit
crazy.
score. I'm trying to remember what the credit score was. I think back then I barely had a 600, but that was for a during the $1 million house. And that was common back then.
And you said how much was the house?
7 something.
Okay. Okay.
7 like
700,000?
725, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And there's no way anybody should have ever. I mean, in the taxes and escrows, the taxes and insurance were not included. You had to pay those separate. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So imagine that something not closing in a month. You got a $5,000 mortgage payment. That was
Right.
back then.
Yeah.
But you got taxes and the HOA and insurance you got to pay separate.
It's not like that now. How is it now? Explain to me, because
So in your
I knew once we bought the house, but
as a homeowner, it's all, you're so used to it because it's all in there. It's all in one. So
okay.
sometimes your tax bill might go up. because taxes go up.
So aside from our mortgage, we would be paying all of the other stuff separate. But instead of matter of fact, it is all our stuff is
Yeah.
like it's okay. I'll just be
You just make the payment.
right, exactly, yeah.
And
Cause
so mine is now too. It's all in one. But back then, oh no,
mm, wow,
yeah, it was yeah. So you asked the question, how did I survive the subprime or the crash?
mm-hmm.
They did do bailouts for people, and they did a lot of modifications, and we talked about what happened when the things were modified.
Mm.
And again, for the people that did modify those ghost mortgages, or they're now coming due. Those silent seconds, they're coming due. So people were able to be okay with their modified payment.
Right.
Now all of this other one that people thought, okay, they forgave it. No, they didn't. Some banks did, but very, very few. And now that you must qualify for the remaining balance. And now foreclosures are starting to.
Hold on. You must. You gotta. You have
so
to.
fast.
No. I'm picking up what you putting down.
So
You saying that on debt mortgage from those modifications they're still due and they have to requalify after you're already
Absolutely.
in the house.
Absolutely, because they're figuring, okay, went ahead, we modified you, we put this on the back end.
Wow.
But again, after this 15 or whatever years they give you, they accelerate that silent second, or it's a second trust, or it's I use the terminology, and it's the end of the day, so I done forgot the terminology.
That's fine.
Deferred principal. Thank you.
Okay.
So that deferred principal is literally deferred, but based on the terms of your modification, whatever it was, that party has to qualify through some bank to be financed for the remaining balance. It's like a refinance, but what if they haven't maintained their credit? And so a lot of people now that they had a silent second or deferred principal of $250,000, or if they wanted to refi to get a lower rate when the interest rate was real low, they couldn't, because that is something that has lien hold position and it must be paid off. At that point, who knows if they qualify? Now, hopefully, they did pay down that principal balance and they can do it, but it's not easy.
That's crazy.
Especially if you are going through something now like this. Post-COVID, people lost their jobs. Now people are losing their jobs. And, you telling me now I got a silent second? That's due?
That is crazy because people tend to, as soon as they get in the house, start tearing their credit up.
Yeah.
So if you not, and then it's like you start to acquire more debt. You know what I mean? Then it's trying to, especially when things happen, like furlough, people lose their job, and then you start taking out loans, and then you just start to get more debt. You know what I mean? It start to stack up. Yeah, exactly. And then you become house poor, and it's like it's getting rough.
Yeah.
It can get rough. That is crazy. So let me ask you this: so rates go up, rates come down, people panic, then they get complacent. With your perspective, what's the biggest misunderstanding buyers and sellers have about interest rates?
So this is so important. Oh my gosh. And I wanted to kind of touch on that too. Like I said, people really want this. I'm going to wait till the rate goes down. Rate goes down, price go up. Okay.
Explain it.
I mean, that's just how it is. The longer a house that was sold for $200,000 5 years ago is $400,000 now.
Right.
They're not going to go down. People say, I'm waiting for the prices to go down. Where that's gonna happen?
Right. Yeah. Because if the price go up, even if the rate go down, it's still gonna be a higher mortgage on the house because the price went up. Yeah. There you go.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Look at how much equity. Now, I'm gonna let you get excited. You had a hell of a realtor.
Oh yeah, for sure. Shout out to the OG.
A ton of equity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so that's important.
Not to cut you off too though, but when we was going through that process, I didn't really understand it, but now I see it. Cause it was a point where I was like, man, look, hey, but I don't even want the house no more. She was like, no, you're not walking away from that equity like that. And I was like, it must be something really with this equity. But I was like, when now I see it, I'm like, this what she talking about.
Yeah, money in the bank.
It's almost worth half. Our house is worth double. Yeah, it's double what we paid for. And I be looking at it now. I be looking to see, and I think since the market. Since the inflation and all that, it made me really see the difference. I'm like, wow. I'm like, we bought our house at the perfect time.
You did.
At the perfect time. Like, we was right there. We slid right in the back door. You did. I was like, wow. Now I see it now, but
you can never your payment every month, your like you said, the equity you have, um, what the seller was willing to do,
Yeah.
because that seller was not willing to do, you know, you know what is typically done for that type of transaction.
Yeah.
You know, and now I'm looking at people, that would love to get that square footage. They gonna pay.
Yeah, for sure.
And so people say, well, shoot, I mean, when is it going to happen for me again like that? Never. So
Right.
by now, and let your equity grow, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's, I think, and I know you asked a question. I want to make sure I answer that question. I just want people to understand, you're going to get either or. You're not going to get a low cost house. The value of the house is not going to go down,
Mm-hmm.
and the interest rate be low too, because again, when the interest rates go down, now people have bidding wars. They bid the cost of the house up and over. Now I'm going to pay 10,000 over with no appraisal contingency, and I'm paying all my closing. So now you got to siphon all your money out of your retirement, because people are hopping around over the stupid interest rate. And
Right.
I'm like, so people have to be, a little bit less fearful, and base the decision on the need. The need is, I need a home.
Right.
That's it. You don't buy for the interest rate, and you don't buy because, the houses are cheap. Because every house that I found that's inexpensive,
Mm-hmm.
there's something wrong with it. It's inexpensive for a reason.
Right.
I.e., it's a complete gut. It's a shell for real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Or the location is not the best. It's hard to get to. Or there's some water problems. There's a reason for it. So if a house goes down in price, you definitely want to figure out what it is.
Right.
And in
Yeah.
this area, stop playing. Like, just go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
buy it.
Right. 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 Yeah. You get it, and because average, I mean, I'm just shooting from the hip, but average house in this area, what is it, $500,000
All
houses?
day.
Yeah,
All day.
and that's
I mean, you're
like
talking even
Southern
the
Maryland.
townhouse. Yeah, yeah, even
Yeah.
at the townhouse.
Yeah.
But it is. Um, I also see this equity grow so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Where you gonna find? Oh, I'm trying to get him burp. You're getting 50 to 100 grand as part of my little song,
Yeah.
and that's one part. 50K. Let me see. You if you put that 50K in your 401K, in a little bit of time. Not. Can you edit that part out?
No, go ahead now.
There's a line. I
Yeah.
say 50K 401. 50K 401 in 5 years. You get 53K at max. It's gonna make you $3,000 in 5 years. But that 50K towards your house in 5 years, you get 150,000 back. You understand what I mean? Like, you're
Yeah.
getting 100,000 in that 3 years versus 3,000 in your 401K. You see
Right.
what I mean? Just sitting in your 401K, that's the max you're going to get.
Mm.
I need my money to make money for me while I'm
For-
sleeping, and so that's why I'm trying to get buyers and sellers to understand the importance. Seller, if the house is too big for you, downsize, buy with family.
Mm.
Buyer, if the house is too small for you, upsize, buy with family, because you don't know if you're counting on this job to be everything, you're foolish.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I never even the way you worded it was actually great, because people don't think like that.
No, they
I
don't.
think it's a cultural thing too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But if you back in the day, but I do see many cultures, families do come together and they purchase wisely.
right.
I had because this is something that I really like to promote, the generational home, because I don't want to see my mom in a nursing home.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
No.
I don't want to be in a nursing home. You can hire somebody to come and clean me up if you don't want to do that part.
Right.
But
Don't put me.
the quality of life for me is going to be better. If I'm around my grandchildren, my great grandchildren. And I think I hear more people say, well, my children are so hard headed, and I don't want to live with them. But I hear want. I
Right.
hear want.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we're unwilling to do what we need to do for the sensibility of it all. I think it's an investment in, what makes it easier.
All right. So when inventory is low, everybody screams shortage. When it's high, they scream crash. What do you wish the average buyer understood about supply and demand cycles?
I think they should stop watching the news. The
That's
news is
that's a
so
great answer.
scripted,
That's a great answer.
very biased.
Yes.
If you need a place to live, if you are paying rent, if you have not enough space, if you have too much space, stop talking to your friends and getting their opinion and going back to such and such bought their house at this time and this time. Buy a house.
Hmm. Yeah.
Buy a house.
Yeah.
Buy a house that fits your buying power. Because again, you can't. Like I said, it's either or. You're either going to get a great rate,
Mm-hmm.
or you're going to get a seller who is willing to give more closing help that can still buy down your rate during a buyer's market.
Right.
You
Right.
see what I mean? A great rate means that there's no inventory, so you really are going to have to fight tooth and nail to get a house that you kind of might not love.
Right. 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 Which is not ideal.
Exactly.
Is
So,
that's what you were talking about? I think that's what you and Bud was talking about in the car, right? Yeah, I was talking about
yeah. Oh,
the
you remember
the
the?
renters thing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched the video
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah,
renting and things like that.
yeah.
And Bud touched on some things. I was gonna get him to say something, but he went back outside. But yeah, that's what. What is a buyer's market? What does that look like?
So that means a buyer is buyer's choice. Buyers can get closing help. They have good inventory. They can kind of write their own ticket, and sellers are more motivated to give them help because their house has been sitting on the market.
Mm.
Sellers market is just the complete opposite. They have a ton of buyers. That people buyers are writing up and over because the rate is good,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not enough inventory. So sellers are getting free rent backs for a month, to so that because there's so many people bidding on their houses, bidding wars all day, and there's still building bidding wars in buyers markets for high demand properties because
Right.
this still is the nation's capital and surrounding. So
Yeah.
we typically don't have a market where it's just no activity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah. It's always something, something going on. So, do you think buyers and sellers underestimate how politics and policies can shift their like wealth decisions, their personal wealth decisions?
I'm sorry. I'm filming my own bloopers today.
What?
What was the question?
I said, so do you think like buyers and sellers underestimate how politics and policies shifts can affect their personal wealth decisions?
I think I think I think they get distracted by it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on the buyer. The wisest buyer, the wisest seller base all of their decisions on their needs because there's always going to be something going on in politics.
Mm.
There's always going to be something going on in with the economy. It's never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Um, but waiting until the situation changes around you has nothing to do with your roof, your needs, your investment. You're not going to
Right.
get any more or less based on a different time. You're just not. And I don't know if I answered the question all the way.
Yeah. No, that was good. Yeah. I mean, whatever you had.
You didn't answer the question.
No, it was good. It was good. It was good. Now I was
What
thinking
the
about
show
it wasn't that. I was thinking about um the renting versus buying thing. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was just actually thinking about the conversation. It was a question that I had, but my mind just went blank. But we can
That's a good question though. What were you going to ask about renting versus buying?
it'll come back to me. I know it was renting versus buying, but I got to formulate it better than what I was. What
Okay.
my mind's
Okay.
still trying to
Okay.
put it together. Ain't that right, babe?
I mean,
Kid the Quiet
I'm
Storm.
anti-renting anyway.
Huh?
I'm anti-renting anyway.
Anti-renting.
I'm anti-renting anyway.
Oh, you're anti-renting. You're
Yeah, I
okay.
mean, I understand for the establishment of, some type of rental history. I understand everybody can't buy. I get all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I get all of that, and everybody at some point, I mean, has to rent. Unless you are fortunate enough to have a loved one where you can go from family home to your own purchase.
Right.
But because of the cost of renting and the lack of benefit to the renter,
Mm-hmm.
I'm anti-renting.
Right.
I'm all for someone buying a building, buy a 4-unit building,
Mm-hmm.
and use that. You live in one unit, and you rent out the rest, and let those rents pay for the mortgage on that building. And then now you have basically a second job because there's going to be additional money that you profit after you pay the mortgage on that and use that in tandem with your job to buy bigger
So
and
is
more and
is
more and more.
that what you just described? Is that how you create cash flow?
Absolutely. I mean, it is it's just how you build wealth in general. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because the again, we don't export anything, but the more property you own, that's the most consistent income. To the point where you may have a tenant that doesn't pay
Rental income, is that what you're saying?
in general, just in general. I mean, it's you just get I mean, in tandem with the rental income,
Mm-hmm.
and the overhead and all of those things that come with managing that property. You have so many different properties at a point. You may have a townhome, you got this building, you have all of this to the point where you don't. What job do you
Right.
need?
Right.
Now you can do what you want,
Yeah.
and that's it. I think it seems for many people, well, I didn't go to college. I can't do this, or I came up poor. I can't do this, or
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Because we always put our own ceiling on ourselves. But if you look at it and say, you know what, I can have this building, I can have that, because it's FHA loan, you can buy a 4 unit building
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
with
And
grant money.
yeah, I was taking pictures of the kids at the school, and it's crazy you said it because you were saying like, I didn't go to college, I can't do this. One of the kids was like, "So where did you go to college?" I'm like, "I didn't." They was like, and he looked at me like, "You didn't go to college?" You know what I mean? He was like, "Are you doing this?" I was just like, "Nah, I didn't." But you know what I mean? I actually taught myself. You know what I'm saying? Because then I told him I was self-employed and what I do, and I do this too. And he was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't want to discourage him. You know what I
Right,
mean? So
right,
I just left it at that, and
right.
just like, yeah, I just do this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's for a whole nother podcast. I think it's a beautiful thing because again, success is in doing what you love.
right.
So I know a lot of people that did 4, 6 years. They have all types of graduate degrees and miserable.
Right.
That's again for a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. So here we go with the elephant in the room that everybody's talking about, that people are scared of, and people love, and some people understand, and some people don't understand the AI and the automation.
Mm.
We touched on it a little bit, but some folks treat it like a toy, some like a threat. Say you've been in the you've been in the game before social media, before Zillow, and before AI. What's your take on how people should be looking at these tools?
Zillow again, bait, bait, bait.
Yeah.
These sites are, and I have to scream it. Realtor.com. Any .com is paid for by someone to make money.
Mm.
It's not up there for you. So Zillow is not there for you to get the most accurate information. It is to get you engaged enough to get leads for the agents that pay for Zillow. So it does not give you all the information. It is something that is put together to make money.
Mm.
Okay? So people need to understand, while it's fun for me to search. And if somebody is a Zillow fanatic, that's great for them because it's great for them to keep them motivated or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's time to make a purchase, or list your property, you're going to go to an expert. I'm not going to go and play around, with a bot when I need an attorney.
Right.
I'm not going to go rely on ChatGPT. If I develop some type of mass on my body, I'm going to go to a doctor.
Right. Yeah, you gonna
So I
get some
think
real
people
help.
have to understand the while it is literally a tool,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the end all be all, and it can't give you everything that you need.
Right, exactly. So you said something off camera. I mean, off mic. Same thing, off camera, off mic. But we spend more time realizing problems than finding solutions. What did you mean by that?
Again, I think I have to I find myself logging off a lot, because what you hear is what you're going to conform to. So if
Right.
I hear this is happening and that is happening, and I can't do this because this is happening. So we talk about the political shifts or the economic climate, all those different things.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go back. Do you need a place to live? Are you getting chewed up in taxes? Let me help you. I couldn't care less about what's going on in the White House. It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
Because if I need a place to live, I can't worry about that. Now, if your job is affected, let me help you, find another alternative for your job. What's your area of expertise? These people are hiring. I'll often put out different things for, different job fairs or feelers or things like that to help people. But I want people to kind of redirect their thoughts um, to come out of a panic mode and be more solution driven.
Mm.
So, and I can't be the only one. I want buyers and sellers to be equally as solution driven because they have options.
Right.
We can't get lost in what's happening because things are always going to happen. But there's still grant money. They didn't run out of that. There's
Right.
still down payment assistance. There's still
Mm-hmm.
loan programs. Are they going to change? Yes. Is it going to be more difficult to get houses if you sit there and flip flop? Yes. Yes, you're gonna have to put more money down. Yes, I've been doing this long enough to see. Unfortunately, the loans have changed. The minimum down payment increased. It's going to change some more. And I said that post COVID, it's going to change. It's going to get higher. You have to put down more money soon enough. It's going to be much more difficult to obtain a loan.
So you said the minimum down payment is going to decrease
It's going to
or
increase
going to
greatly.
increase? Mm.
It is, and I can't say when. I can't
Right.
say when, but it's going to be more difficult to get a loan. I knew that when COVID happened, I was like, oh Lord,
Mm.
because again, we lost so many jobs with the fallout from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses shut down.
Right. Yeah.
And
Still,
it
some
had
people
nothing to do
never
with
shook back.
it, and that was worldwide.
Right.
That wasn't just government jobs here in the Washington D.C. area. It,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah. I wanted to ask you this too because you probably already said something, but I just thought about it. So with all right, so just for us, me and Kay as example. So we bought our house at a good time.
you did.
If the interest rate go down
Yes,
and we remodify or refinance,
refi.
refi, would our payment go down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it did, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna put your business out there, but if you pulled out some equity to fix some things and
Yeah.
do some things, your payment would still be lower than what it is.
Yeah, cause I was see, but that's why I be held off too because when I do it, I really want to use it to invest. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I really want to use this to really create generational wealth and really
That's
change.
wisdom.
Yeah, really change some things. Because
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm not just gonna get it and just be,
yeah.
you know what I mean, doing whatever with it. I'm gonna use it so
Mm-hmm.
it can make money. You know
And
what
your
I'm
and your
saying?
payment will still go down
Yeah,
because you're starting all over. 30 years. I mean, you're still young.
yeah,
It'll be 30. I mean, you can do a 15-year, but why? You do a
yeah.
30-year loan, a
Oh,
lower
so the
interest rate.
payment will
You'll
go
pull
down
out.
because of the length of the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
thought it would go up because because of the you'll be refinancing a larger amount.
Because you paid on your principal so much. I mean, you
Mm,
have a ton of equity. Do we need to turn
right.
the camera off? I
nah,
can tell you.
nah,
Yeah, I
I was
check
gonna
for my
talk to you.
clients. I do. I check this because sometimes I'll say, "Hey, you had this much equity."
Hmm.
Because it's good for them to know.
Right, right, right.
So that if something is over the life of the owning the property, some things may need to be changed.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just good for maintenance and just to know. But
Hmm.
your home is your personal bank. I say that all the time.
Yeah,
It's part of the like equity stack, like bricks of gold. Like it really is.
yeah.
So you definitely your payment goes down because you're starting afresh with whatever's left on the principal balance, which is minimum, and
Hmm.
then you add whatever you take out of it
Right.
at the lower interest rate. So I don't know
Mm.
what your initial interest rate was, but
I think I what was it 5?
yeah. So at back during COVID, they had rates down in the twos. Now I don't think it'll ever go back in the twos, but you can definitely do a three.
Yeah, I was like 4,
Yeah,
cause at that time that was high. That was high because we was like, 'cause I think you was telling it was a little high for the market at that
yeah,
time. It
yeah,
was high
yeah.
because I think I even spoke to a guy at my job if I'm remembering correctly when I was working back then that he was saying that I think they was refinancing mortgages at like 2.5 or something during COVID.
Yeah,
Is
they
that
were.
right?
They were.
Okay.
And I don't think it'll ever go back that low.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, man, 2.5.
Yeah, yeah.
That'll be.
That's that man. That was the. I'm gonna tell you, my son. his payment went down by $1,000.
Really?
He refied during COVID. I mean,
Mm.
$1,000,
Wow.
$1,000 because of when he bought versus being able to refi that.
But he still bought it in a good market too, though, didn't he? It was before COVID, right?
It was before. Yes, it was before COVID-19. Was he an agent at the time? Was it 2019?
Because we bought our house in 19. So
He was 25. Yeah, I was about to say. You been there 7 years?
be 7 years. What's this? It'll be 7 years next year.
Yeah, y'all bought it. Y'all bought it at the same time. Y'all
Yeah.
did. 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2019. Yeah.
Damn, he looking for a baby.
All right. So you answered my next question. That was just we was just talking and you answered already. So that that doesn't sums it up. But we still gonna do this rapid fire.
Uh-oh.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
No soft answers.
Okay.
Straight to it.
Okay.
Boom or crash? Which taught you more?
Definitely the crash.
Okay. I can understand that. Government shutdown, pause button, or panic button?
Definitely pause button.
Pause button.
Yeah.
Okay. Biggest lie clients tell themselves about rates?
That it's gonna make a difference in their payment. Cause it's not. Seller can buy down your rate for you in a buyer's market. Like that is a better market. Absolutely not. When the rates are lower, you're not getting better. It's actually better when it's a buyer's market.
But because the prices went up, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you have this bidding war all the time, and the rate people say, "Oh God, the rate's low. Let me buy out." That's so silly. When in a buyer's market, your sellers are so willing to give you so much more. Sellers are buying it right down for my clients all day long.
Yeah.
So you're still getting a low rate.
Right. Yeah. So
Plus closing help.
what's more dangerous, waiting too long or buying too soon?
We're always waiting too long. There's no such thing. It's never too soon. Buy a house when you're 18.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
waiting too long.
Yeah.
I mean, because you have to be ready too, because you need
Always ready to make money.
all them documents, and you got to show
Always ready to make
so
money.
much proof.
Always ready to make money.
What you think, bud? Waiting too long or waiting too long or buying too soon?
Answer is waiting too long or
You
buying.
didn't get the question? So what's more dangerous, waiting too long or buying too soon?
Filming podcast.
Waiting too long? Can't hear you. I can't hear you, buddy. You got to come over here talking to the mic.
Waiting too long.
Why?
Scared money don't make none.
So, Zillow. I already know what you're going to say on this. Zillow or TikTok? Who's misleading buyers worse right now?
Oh my word, Zillow. I mean, people. TikTok, you expect people to give their opinions. You expect that. So if anybody's taking TikTok as their, oh my God, it's great. It's fun. You can trust but verify always. But Zillow comes to you at it's presented as expertise because it's Zillow.
You calling me? You was calling me.
Blooper.
Oh, this you right here. He talking about he ain't calling me. Look.
Buddy, turn your glasses on.
Huh? Your jump. It's still calling me right now. Look. He it's all good. Say one thing every buyer should do before calling you. Did you get it? Get the question?
What was the question?
All right. So one thing every buyer should do before calling you.
They shouldn't. They should call me.
That's good.
They should call me.
That's good. Right, because you're the expertise, 22 years, OG. What you say? Hey, cuz that song fire. Cuz we gonna talk about. I was just telling her. I actually was like listen to it. I say she done ghostwriting for Buddy.
Bars.
Nah, that joint fire though, cause I was like, dang, April can really rap. She can really rap. I know she said that. She did good. She did good. I can imagine what both of y'all do in the studio together.
We were supposed to do a song. That's a whole nother thing.
If bedrock was the old way, what's the new way?
You said no. I gotta do this. If bedrock was the old way, that's Fred Flintstone and them. No, I'm like, if bedrock was the old way,
What's the new way? You want to come back to it? We can come back to it.
in real life, like everything is cyclical. Bedrock still fits.
Hmm?
It still fits. It's still neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
You still, you know what I'm saying? You still gotta go to work. Fred went to work.
Yeah.
They go to work. They get out a certain time. You understand what I'm saying? People still need what they need.
So we still in bedrock.
We still
It's still the bedrock way.
Yeah, I mean, and the technology changed a bit, but we still need.
So what would you say the new way is, kid? The quiet storm. Come over here. The mic is right here. Here you go. What's the new way?
She's touching the mic. She's touching the mic, folks.
Technology.
Technology is the new way.
Yes. Because back then you couldn't look on the computer to find homes.
That's true.
Or to look up information, to find realtors and everything.
Yeah.
So technology is the new way.
Yeah.
And the cars got floors now.
Cars have floors.
Yeah.
And they drive themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We definitely getting it.
From a home buying perspective, though, I wouldn't even know, what changed. You know what I mean? Because it's still, I think people are still so far behind in their thinking, because they are moved by what's going on really around them. You know what I'm saying? So greatly, like defined by, like what we're watching now with the economic changes. We still kind of stuck in bedrock.
Right.
Still stuck there.
Right. Yeah.
Conforming and changing our way. So that's good. It's amazing because now that there is technology, there is AI taking jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really taking jobs.
Yeah.
People still stuck. They bedrock.
I'm about to say this is a great perspective though, because it's still bedrock.
Mm-hmm.
We still bedrock.
Mm-hmm.
So AI and real estate, blessing, curse, or both?
It both, definitely, all day.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. What you think, Kid, the Quiet Storm?
She said you got one answer out of me, and that's that.
AI and real estate, blessing, curse, or both?
Both.
Okay. Good answer.
You don't want to elaborate? You don't want to elaborate?
You care to elaborate? Okay. All right. Generational homes, investment, or survival tactic?
Both. Absolutely, unequivocally, both. Always wisdom.
Yes.
You get a twofer.
Yes, I believe so. Okay. So, finish this sentence. If you're still waiting for the perfect time to buy,
You'll be waiting forever. You'll be waiting forever. There is no perfect time other than now.
yes.
It's never going to be that honestly, I believe that's a person that may actually have some commitment issues. Yes, just talk about it. That's a commitment issue.
Yeah.
And I've seen that with clients, because if you overthink it, you'll never do it.
Mm-hmm. And before I want to, what you think? What you think here? If you're waiting for finish the sentence. If you're still waiting for the perfect time to buy, finish the sentence. So finish the sentence. If you're still waiting for the perfect time to buy, you'll be planning your funeral. I was just giving an example. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like you'll never. You know what I'm saying? But let me say this too, though. But when we let me see, because while she think about her answer, I wanted to say this though. So, so when we purchased our home, I was waiting for the perfect time to buy.
Were you?
Yes.
Oh,
So
look. Oh, I wish we
look,
could
now she got something to say. Now look, now she got now she got something to say.
Let's have the conversation.
So I was like, we was renting, we was staying in Waldorf, and I knew my credit wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? So she like, she sent me the house.
You did.
I'm like, okay, what's this? She talking about that's our house. That's our house, babe. I'm like,
Man.
I ain't really. I brushed it off. You know what I mean? I was just going with the flow, but I didn't think you was gonna reach out to April. She did. She did. She talking about. She talking about. I called April and we scheduled an appointment to go look at the house. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, I ain't ready to do that. You really trying to move. I'm like, you ain't trying to sign another lease. She like, I'm not signing another lease.
Yep. Yep.
And at the time, I wasn't even on the lease to be talking about re-signing a lease. You know what I'm saying? So she like, I'm not signing another lease. So I'm like, oh Lord. And she was dead serious. I'm like, I don't know what we're gonna do. But I say that to say I was waiting because of what I thought to be true. You know what I mean? And come to find out, because I knew my credit wasn't there, but come to find out upon talking to you about it, and you explained, you was like, oh yeah, we had just purchased a car, to the first car I had a car note in. So she was like, oh well, won't you 2-3 months or whatever, your credit score gonna jump, and then you know what I mean, you'll be in better position to buy the house. I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? I was more intrigued then, though. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I didn't believe. You know what I mean? I really didn't believe. And through that whole process is actually where my faith got stronger, too, through that whole homebound process. Yeah, so that's definitely a testimony. I definitely was waiting for the perfect time to buy. Did you want to shed some light on that story, babe? Did I get all the points? Okay.
But I think that's huge.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part of it. I think the fear, we talk ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
When it was time for me to not be a government contractor, it was a very comfortable job.
Mm-hmm.
Very comfortable job, decent salary, great benefits. It didn't work.
Right.
It didn't work. And I was like, okay, God, I need answers.
Yeah.
I need answers. And I can't be like Job, lose everything and then got wait. I need answers now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm driving down to 210. You know, 210 got the three. Is it 3 lanes or 2 coming down?
To make the left.
Yeah. I was coming up 210 going to work, and I wear glasses. If I don't wear them, I can't have see. This time I had tears in my eyes, and the car was 3 cars up and the lane over, and I could see the tag said Deuteronomy 8:18.
Really?
Yeah, and it speaks of the promises of the Most High, His covenants, with our people about obtaining wealth. It says it's me and my covenant. I'm not gonna breach my covenant with you for you to obtain wealth. I put my notice in that day and never looked back, and I didn't give a 2-week notice. I'm out. And from that point, my whole career flourished.
And that's how you step out on faith.
It's faith. It's faith. It's believing you, because in and of ourselves, we can't do anything anyway. We don't make our chest go up and down. We don't.
Right.
He does. So I think, in that, it's like, people will say, well, no, I got to wait for my credit to get better. If you filed a bankruptcy, the bankruptcy is getting ready to fall off, get your credit pulled to know what you need to do to establish credit. Don't just wait the 2 or 3, depending on what type of loan, years that it takes to season your credit. Get it pulled to know if you've established enough during that period to be able to buy. Find out what's on your credit so that you can establish that. Find out what type of income. Oh, I've been working 2 jobs for all these years, but they can't count it. That's happening to people. They can't count it because you didn't do what you needed to do to properly document it. You don't have, it's a certain kind of income that can't be counted for you to qualify.
Right.
Ask somebody, ask someone about it. Don't
Yeah.
self-diagnose when you know you need your credit to purchase.
Yeah.
Don't self-diagnose when you know you need a certain amount of income to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And it all that doing it yourself comes from a place of fear. Pardon me. And it's a thing that's important. If people are fearful, it's okay. I'm gonna do this in their little bubble, but you need to ask for help.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's where the OG realtor comes in at. Call her as soon as you get the thought in your head. And this is a good episode today. It was very informative. What you think, Kid, the Quiet Storm? Good. Alrighty, guys. That is a wrap. And we are out.